Robert, we are all here now. Commissioner Burton did just inform us that he can only attend here for 30 minutes because he's got fire duty later on this afternoon. So we can just try to get through as much as we can on our agenda. Anything that we don't get through today, we will bump to the next agenda. Commissioner Wilson, would you like to take?
All right. Without further ado, I call the regular Open Spaces Commission meeting to order for April 25th, 2022. Can we have a roll call?
Yep, Commissioner Wilson.
Here.
Commissioner Bessler.
I'm here. Good afternoon, everyone.
Commissioner Burton.
Present.
Commissioner Loseth.
I'm here.
Okay, we do have a quorum.
All right, sounds good. On to the land acknowledgement statement. The Flagstaff Open Spaces Commission humbly acknowledges the ancestral homelands of this area's indigenous nations and original stewards. These lands, still inhabited by native descendants, border mountains sacred to indigenous peoples, and we honor them, their legacies, their traditions, and their continued contributions. We celebrate their past, present, and future generations who will forever know this place as home. And the next item is approval of the February 28th, 2022 meetings, the meeting minutes. Is there any discussion or corrections that anyone would like to make? Hearing none, I would like to make one comment on item 5G, page 8. I would like to replace the word skipped with the words postponed discussion of. To me, it almost sounds like I forgot to do that item, and we decided to postpone it for, for a future meeting. So I'd like to make that one correction.
Okay, thanks. We've noted that.
Okay, do I hear a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
This is Vice Chairman Bessler. I'll motion to approve with the changes that you're requesting, Chair.
Okay. And second? I'll second it. This is Chairman Wilson. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, the minutes are approved as amended. The next item is public participation. At this time, any member of the public may address the commission on any subject that is not scheduled before the commission on this day. The Arizona Open Meeting Law prohibits the commission from discussing or acting on an item which is not listed on the prepared agenda. Commission members may, however, respond to criticism made by those addressing the commission, ask staff to review a matter, or ask that a matter be placed on a future agenda. To address the commission on an item that is on the agenda, please wait for the chair to call for public comment at the time that that item is heard. Is there anyone here from the public that wishes to speak on a subject not on the agenda for tonight? Hearing none, we'll move on to business items. First up is the regional plan. Robert and Sarah.
Sarah, I'll let you take it. Thanks for being here.
Great. Thank you very much, Commission, for having me back to go through the exercise we ran out of time to complete in February. I want to do very quickly just a quick review that last month we discussed what the regional plan is, what's in our current regional plan, especially concerning open space, the process for updating it. And then we arrived at the point of doing our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats assessment, and the commission requested to have a little more time to consider, and that we come back and talk through that in more detail. I wanted to just do two quick reminders that these are the reasons the public wants the regional plan and how they wanted it to function the last time we did this update. Maybe there's some new ways that we wanted to work on behalf of the community now, but this was our kind of grounding in 2014 and 2012 to 2014 when we were updating it. We're currently still in phase 1. So really the goal of this SWOT analysis we're going to do tonight is to get curious and gain some understanding, but it's not a closed discussion. We will definitely be back in the future to talk to commissions at least 3 or 4 more times throughout the process and at different phases. We'll ask for different kinds of input from the commissions. And there'll be opportunities for commissioners to come to many parts of our collaborative process as we get that going starting this fall. So I want to remind you that a strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats analysis is really about strengths and weaknesses of the current regional plan, and then opportunities and threats as we are revising the plan. So think of them as strengths and weaknesses from where we were in 2014 to now. How do we perform? And then opportunities and threats are things that may be on the horizon that the team and the public need to consider as we're revising the document. So with that, I'm going to share, I put the link in the chat and I'll do it one more time for the exercise, the digital whiteboard exercise. So everyone will please log in. I'll share this. Hopefully we are glitch free today. But everyone remembers joining this group map, and I hope we're all able to log in. Right now, everybody's offline. So oh, there's Andy showed up, a couple more folks. What we'd like to do is just quickly review what you entered last time. While you're logging in, I'll kind of go over that. And then what we will do then is go to the rating step where you will all get to individually rate in terms of their importance, which is our way of prioritizing these. So last time we talked about how the regional plan was good of aspirational plans. It really incorporated the foot system. It had more passive recreation opportunities included than the previous version, and it has a lot of graphics and maps. Yes, you do need to enter your email address to log in, but it's not a complicated login. Just put in your email address and you should get in. And then we talked about the weaknesses is that there wasn't a lot of implementation priorities, so everything was kind of equal. And then the shared values that drive the vision and goals were sometimes a little buried in the document. There are no specific timelines or implementation deadlines in the plan, so there weren't milestones to tell how we were doing and implementing it. And then the conservation land system, which was promoted in the open space system, has never really been implemented. Last time you also identified some opportunities and threats of using risk management principles to think through prioritization and how we might look at the spectrum of risks against our objectives and goals, having a greater emphasis on how we get to a goal and not just setting it, having active public conversations on roads and bridges and shifting our transportation focus. And then also having, and then the threat side, we talked about uncertainty and moving forward with economic conditions that could be changing who we are as a community and who gets to visit and live here. We also talked about technology and how that might influence the plan in the future, and how we may see that there's some preference for housing and road development pressures to take priority over passive transportation. So I think I'm still seeing there's a couple commissioners that maybe haven't joined the group map yet. Does anyone need technical assistance to get on for the next part of this exercise? It doesn't really matter if you were here for the February meeting or not, but it's important all the commissioners get onto the website and do the rating who are present.
I do have a question. This is Chairman Wilson. Where do I put in my email address?
I don't know why it asks some people for it and not others, but if you click on the link in the chat or go to joingroupmap.com and type in B8F-2BF-521, it'll let you into the site, but I recommend opening the chat and clicking the link. I can also, if you are doing this by phone,
Yep. Okay.
you can scan this QR code.
That's
if there's
a
anybody who prefers to access the site in this manner.
third time's a charm.
Great. Okay. You should be popping up here any second.
Oh, looks like I have technical difficulties.
Ah,
Oh, there, okay. Okay, here we go. There's quite a lag time on my.
we'll be
screen
able to
just-
get you on here. So if any of the commissioners who are logged on think that we're missing something from this conversation, as you've had a few weeks to reflect on it and you want to add it, you can go ahead and type in more strengths and weaknesses, opportunities and threats before we move on. Well, in the interest of time, if Mark and Andy and Jim all go up to this upper left-hand corner of the screen and they move from the brainstorm tab to rate, you can all start rating the ones that have already been entered. So giving something a 10 means you think it's the highest priority, and giving something a 0 or a 1 way down here means it's not a very important comparatively. Now it's important to know that each quadrant is only being compared to itself, so you can't give something a 10 in strengths. It doesn't get compared to anything over in the weaknesses quadrant. Everything gets their own quadrant. So it just tells us from 1 to 3 what you think of the strengths, what you think of the weaknesses, what you think of the opportunities and threats. And Mike, if you are having trouble getting on, you could just put a number in the chat and I could substitute myself as your proxy for doing the ratings. Everyone I can see is taking their time, getting their time to enter their rankings. Few of us are still working through. I'm not gonna rush, but I know we're sensitive that you only have a quorum for a short amount of time. Mark is finishing up his last rating. So if we look at where the rankings come in, it's still important to keep the foots and passive recreation opportunities well integrated into the plan. Folks would like to see the shared community values be more upfront in driving the vision and goals. They also ask that, let's see down here, it seems like using some risk management strategies to get a clearer understanding of how to prioritize things and a greater emphasis on how we get to our goals is the focus you'd like to see on the opportunities. And you recognize that those uncertain economic conditions are really a threat, not only to open space, but to many other portions of the plan. Would any of the commissioners like to provide additional comments on this exercise? I want to thank you all for having us back and engaging in it. I also will provide you in the chat a link that you can share where we currently have a survey open on the Flagstaff Community Forum that is about the vision of the community and getting some visioning feedback. And so commissioners can't fill it out. You know that getting on the community forum is an electronic quorum, but you can share that link with others who you think may want to be involved in this process and give feedback on their community values and vision for the community. So anything else for me?
Thanks for running through that with us, Sarah. That was great.
Sarah, and just so you know, I put my ratings in the chat because I just could not get the email to come up.
I don't see anything in the meeting chat. Am I missing that?
I'm just now.
Entering them. Great. Yeah, I can
Okay,
transpose them.
I just finished.
Okay, that's great. I can transpose them, no problem. I'll just wait to make sure that they come up before I log off and disappear from the conversation. And then of course, I'll provide this back as a report to Robert so that you can actually see the results of this conversation and what we're doing going forward.
Thanks, Sarah. We appreciate your time. And yeah, I'll share that with the commission. You get that back to us, and we do look forward to having you at the commission when we get to the next phase.
Great. Thank you very
And
much.
do you see the ratings?
I do. I'm going to put myself in as your proxy, and I'll make sure I put that in the notes as well. So thank you.
Right. Sorry about that.
It's okay. It happens. Thank you very much.
All right. So next item is the Open Space Commission term of office review. Robert, would that be all right if we just postpone that one?
Yeah, I can actually speak to it really quickly.
Okay.
So as you guys know, we've been having trouble making quorum. We should be very close to having the necessary applications to this to go to city council to get new appointments. So we should hopefully have that very soon. Jim, just so you know, your appointment actually expires in April 1st of 2022, but you are able to come to these meetings essentially until they found a replacement. And just so you know that this is your third term, so unfortunately you won't be able to reapply, but we certainly have appreciated your commitment to the commission. And so I will put this.
Yeah, I wanted to. I was just gonna say that. That's why I wanted to hop on this one because I knew I was about done. So yeah, I'll continue as I'm available to attend and till we can get some replacements.
I really appreciate that. Yeah, and I know the rest of the commission does as well. Yeah, we'll try to get that taken care of as soon as possible, and I'll put this on a future agenda as well.
Yeah, it'd be best if we have more people to discuss this. The next is the city reentry plan.
Yes, I can make this very quick as well. So I believe the city was going to reopen all city facilities at the target date of April 11th, and we could have our next meeting at the Aquaplex. We had talked about this at one of our commission meetings before, and whether or not we wanted to do a virtual meeting or an in-person meeting or a combined meeting. And from what I remember, the commission actually settled on doing a combined meeting. I did want the commission to weigh in to whether or not they wanted to continue these virtual settings, whether you'd like that to be a combined meeting at the Aquaplex, or whether you'd want it just to be an in-person.
Hey, Robert.
Yes.
Hi, it's Rebecca. Actually, the city clerk's office has let us know that we can meet in person, but we still have to have a virtual option. So it's either, yeah, we can't do just in person yet.
Sounds good.
In that case, I propose that we do a hybrid meeting at the Aquaplex.
Sounds good. Would the commission like to make a formal decision on that item?
Yeah, does any other commissioners have any comments? And I can make a motion. But is there any other comments before we do that? Their thoughts?
This
I'm
is Commissioner
fine.
Seth.
No, go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry about that. I support the hybrid meetings. In my time as commissioner, I have yet to do an in-person meeting and would look forward to that for sure. Thank you.
All right, well, seems like we kind of have we're all in the same headspace. So I move that the Open Spaces Commission approves moving to a hybrid type of meeting utilizing the Aquaplex as of the May 23rd meeting, according to the city reentry plan. Is there any second?
This is
second.
Andy. I'll second.
And who was first there? Or second?
Jim can have it. It's fine.
Okay. Jim Burton seconds the motion. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed?
Right.
Yeah. No opposed. Motion is approved. All right. Moving to the Observatory Mesa Trail Plan.
Thank you, commissioners. Appreciate that. I'll try to make this very quick as well. You've all seen the Great Observatory Mesa Trail Plan numerous times, and the commission has provided comments on this as well. I was hoping to ask the commission here for formal approval this evening so we can use this plan moving forward to start doing our public outreach. I'm not sure how to spend the next couple of minutes. I was planning on moving through the plan and kind of reviewing it in totality with the commission again and spending some time really doing that. But if you've done that prior to this meeting, we don't necessarily have to do that. So I'll just leave it to you to decide how best to move this forward. If we need additional time to work through this together as a team, I'm happy to put this on a future agenda and essentially just maybe move to the next agenda item.
Yeah, well, I would like to move this forward. I mean, we have kind of, get it out there to the next step, but I do have a couple. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I was just going to ask Mark Loseth if I don't know if there's been any significant edits made or changes since the last time we did review this plan. It's been a while, so I think, Robert, it would help to have it up on screen at least so we can remember.
You got it.
And I have some minor editing type of changes, nothing of any substantial, but just to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, we'd be happy to accept those edits, Commissioner Wilson. We appreciate you putting the time into doing that. We do not have any, major changes in the plan since you all have last seen it.
Right.
We did have a meeting with our main partners, the Forest Service and Lowell Observatory. And they had, a couple minor changes to this background section here that kind of describes their involvement. And so if you had a chance to read through there, there's a few minor changes. Really, the main core part of the plan still remains the same. I'm happy to go through it though here, even if we don't have time tonight. In May, that'd be fine as well.
Well, again, this is Andy. If I can again point to Mark, I don't know if you can provide any updates for us, but I definitely want to thank you, Mark, for the hard work you put into this, and I really appreciate your efforts. So, did you have any comments you wanted to make?
Yeah, thank you. I would say as far as the changes from the last draft to this one, effectively, as far as trail mileage, trail location, kind of desired outcomes have not changed. There's been a little bit of change in regards to Lowell Observatory, and Robert's got the exact right page up. So the second paragraph that you can see in front of you is change from the original draft. Just adding some context to the ability of Lowell Observatory to formally approve the trails. They want to, but at this time, they cannot guarantee that the trails would be situated, in perpetuity where they're being currently proposed. Another one of the major changes happened also on section 17 is that there's a loop and a little spur loop that's being proposed as adaptive cycling opportunities, which means the trails would be proposed at a little bit wider of width and just kind of accommodating for adaptive cycle use. And Robert's got it there. It's kind of that weird green border in section 17, where we would just kind of make sure that some standards have been met to accommodate adaptive cyclists. And most of the other stuff are small clarification additions to maps, a little bit more descriptions, a few more tables, just to add clarity to answer any questions that folks had about the report. Most folks didn't have too many headaches regarding the content itself. It was more in the presentation and making sure that what we're proposing was as clear as it could be within the report itself.
Okay. Okay. And I had just a couple of minor things when I read through it. And I don't know how to incorporate this with, making a decision or whether we put it off till the next time. But one of the items that I noticed was that I think we might need to reconcile the access time to open space, because on page 13, it says 15 minutes walkable or a quarter mile. Page 22, it says 10 to 15 minutes or a quarter mile. And on page 51, it says 10 minutes. So I think that we need to reconcile and make it the same in all three places in the document.
Interesting. Yeah, good catch.
That was one of my things. Also, on page 37, the map, I don't understand what the squiggly lines are in the lower right-hand corner of that map. And I just wondered if they are important or whether they'll be removed in the final draft. I just hate to think that we confuse people, more so
Yes.
than we need to.
It looks like
I might be confused.
No, it looks like a giant amoeba running across section 17. That's not good.
So that they're not big deals, but and also on page 23.
So can I just address the question you had on page 37 before we move on?
Yeah.
Which lines are you referring to?
There's some squiggly lines in the bottom right-hand corner.
It's near the parking lot.
Yeah.
This right here.
Yeah.
That purple line, is it what you're looking at?
Yes.
The purple line is a new trail proposal that would be for section 17 upon Lowell Observatory's approval of that for an ADA accessible hiking.
So that's an actual trail just back and forth like that? Okay.
It's a shorter ADA loop.
All
Oh,
right.
that's great.
All right. Well, then that answers that question.
It may be worth it to point that out, or
Yeah, I just thought it was something else. And just real quickly on page 23, the chart, and I don't mean to take up all the time here, but
Okay.
On that chart, I would suggest not bolding rows 5 and 8, which are the two rows speaking to decommissioning, because I struggled a bit in reconciling the numbers and understanding what that chart was telling me by having the decommissioning rows. And let's see. Yeah, I mean, because I think it's appropriate to have the bolding on the total trails for adoption and construction, and the total road beds for closing and decommissioning. But I got a little bit confused when lines 5 and 8 were also bolded when I was trying to add and subtract miles and stuff.
Okay.
Just a suggestion.
well, this is Andy. I think with these, edits, there's still a few remaining edits, but I think once we do a final review, I'm fine with putting this out for public review. I really support this trail plan and think it was well put together. So,
Can I send you what I have, Robert, and can it be incorporated yet? And we still make a motion to accept it tonight?
Yeah, I think you can. You can make a motion to accept it with the revisions that you've just spoken about. Please do send me those.
Okay. There's no
And then
sense in
I can
hashing.
email you the draft once those changes have been incorporated before we use it for release. But I'm also happy to put it on the next agenda if you feel like it's prudent to wait.
Yeah. Well, we have a quorum tonight.
Yeah.
Who knows next month?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Unfortunately.
go
Are
ahead.
the other commissioners okay if put forward a motion to accept the trail plan?
Yeah, I support it.
Okay. In that
How
case,
about you,
Robert,
Mark? Is Mark, are you okay with it?
I support it as long as the map gets labeled amoeba and not ADA trail. Just kidding. I support it, and yeah.
So that's okay. That's
and
the ADA.
absolutely, suggested edits will be incorporated in the report for sure.
All right.
Commissioner Wilson, I might recommend too that we take a public comment on this. I do notice we have some folks from Lowell Observatory that have joined us this evening, and so just want to make sure that if they do have comments that they heard.
Oh, hey, Robert, this is Jeff Hall from Lowell. No, I just wanted to, Danielle Adams from Lowell was on too. We just wanted to sign in and just listen to the proceedings, and we've enjoyed working with you and Mark on getting this draft together. So looking forward to the next steps. Anything from you, Danielle? Okay, if not, then Robert will be in touch with just a few tiny minor remaining edits before it goes out for public review. But other than that, I think we think it's good to go.
Great. Well, thank you guys both for being here tonight. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thank you. So if it's appropriate, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion then.
I'm happy to second that motion to, sorry, and you're approving what, like?
Okay, my motion, I motion that the Open Spaces Commission approves the draft Greater Observatory Trail proposal with the changes and edits discussed tonight for public outreach and input, and to obtain feedback that could be used to adjust and develop a plan that meets open space program directives, stakeholder directives, and supports the community values. Do I have a second?
I will defer my second to Mark, because that just feels the right thing to do.
I think it's appropriate.
Same.
Mark?
I second the motion with
Okay.
the consideration that edits will be made to the final draft prior to public release.
All right. And I think it's appropriate that you make the second. So all those in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion is approved with those edits and changes that we discussed tonight.
Great.
Thank you,
Thanks.
everyone.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chairman. If I can just say, Jeff, thanks for being on. Really appreciate the input that Lowell's provided on the trail plan, and I look forward to continuing the improvement of this plan through the public process. So thanks for being on.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you all. We're looking forward to working with you on it.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. Commissioner Burton, are you going to be able to stay with us, or are we kind of at the end of the?
Yeah, I wanted to make sure we got through that, but I need to go and prep so I can brief a bunch of firefighters for night shift.
All right. Well, I wanted to get this far, at least this far as well. So thank you for sticking with it.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
problem.
Jim, and thanks for your service, man.
Thank you. So I'm gonna jump off so I can get prepped then, and yeah, hopefully maybe see you next month in person.
All right. So I guess we're going to need to stop at this point, or can we continue as long as we're not making any decisions?
I think we'd have to stop, yeah, because we don't no longer have a quorum, even if we're just have a discussion. Yeah, it's
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I guess we will be adjourning for lack of a quorum at this point.
Okay. Thank you all, and I'll move the other items from our agenda onto the next month. And just so you know, there are some reports in your folder, so you can take a look at those. And if you have questions, let me know.
All right. That sounds good. And I'll send you those edits that I come up with.
Excellent. I'll watch for them.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.